Hi there, it's Karen at Corrie Paper Crafts here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the UK. Thanks for dropping in today, and today's video is part of the Stamp Around UK video hop, so look in the description bar below and you'll see everyone else who's joining in with the video hop, and please do drop in and visit them all if you can, because you'll see some amazing projects. There are a few different UK demonstrators who join this video hop, and everybody has different ideas and different skills, and you will see some amazing projects, so please do drop in and visit them. So every month when we do this video hop there is a theme, and this theme, which is December, you're watching this as it goes live on the 1st of December 2021, that is, if you're watching at a later date, and our theme is black and gold. So I thought I would make a little gift box which holds 4 tea light candles, and I decided to make the candles black and gold as well. So it's a window gift box so that you can see what's inside. Let me just pop that corner back in, but I didn't want to make the box too big because then it wouldn't fit the tea lights as I wanted them to lie. So I decided to stamp the greeting on the window sheet. So heat embossing on acetate is no mean feat, and you've got to be very careful, so fingers crossed it'll go all right on the night, as they say. So I'm going to show you how I made this box. It really is quick and easy to make. So I'll pop that over to the side just now. First of all, what you'll need is 2 pieces of card. For the lid you'll need a piece which is 5 inches by 5 inches. I'm only doing inches in the video at the moment, but hopefully I will add the centimetres to the description bar below, and also if I manage to pop it on my blog. And for the base you'll need a piece just short of 5 by 5, so it's 5 inches minus 1/16, so it's 4 15/16 by 4 15/16. But if you just measure it up to 5 on your trimmer and just pull it back 1/16, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So for the piece for the lid, it measures exactly 5 inches by 5 inches, and that tells me here that that's 12.7 centimetres just while I'm looking at my trimmer. For the base, I lined my cardstock up to 5 inches and then just pulled it back to that tiny line just before it, so it's the line immediately above the 5, so that's 4 15/16, and that was the same on both sides. I lined it up to 5 inches and pulled it back 1/16 to that little tiny line there, and that means that the box base will fit nicely inside the lid. So I'm going to stick with my trimmer, and both pieces you're going to score at 7/8 of an inch on all 4 sides. Now I could pop it along to here, but I tend to use this because it gives me more to butt my cardstock up against. So you'll see that the numbers start going in the opposite direction to 1.5 or just about 1.5 inches. So I'm going to count it to 2, 4, 6, 7/8 of an inch, which is this line here, 2 lines from the 1 inch mark. Okay, so I'm going to score it, not cut it. Remember not to cut. Ask me how I know. And I'm just going to score that on all 4 sides on both pieces of cardstock. I'm sorry if I'm shaking you a little bit because my tripod sits on this table as well, but I'll try not to sugar you too much. And I hope the lighting is okay because I've changed to a different room to do my crafting. It's got a bigger window and south facing, so it faces the sun stroke daylight. We are in Scotland, although we do get the sun, and we've had sun today. We've also got snow, about an inch of snow. I'm filming this on the 28th of November, so a couple of days before you see it when it goes live on YouTube. And we're just at the tail end of Storm Arwen as well. So I'm hoping the lighting is a little bit better because it's a bigger window. So let me know what you think. It is very late afternoon now and the light is starting to go, so it'll gradually change from daylight to my daylight lamp, which is just above here as well. So fold and burnish on all of those score lines on both pieces. And then we just need to make sure that we get the right piece for the base and the right piece for the lid, because we're going to do a little bit of die cutting, and I probably should have done the die cutting on the lid before I folded and burnished, but it doesn't matter. So if I line those up, I can see that this one is slightly bigger than this one. So I'm going to put that over to the side just now, and I'm going to make up the base so that I know that that's that piece. So as I always do with my boxes, I'm going to cut straight up the edge of this rectangle, keeping the score line on my square, and I'm just going to wedge in slightly on both sides, and then I'm going to turn it round before I do the next one. I just like to add a little bit of strength to each corner of a box. It's just something that I do. You don't have to, but I just prefer to make it that way, so you've got a sort of pinwheel. So that's that. And then I'm going to get my tear and tape and my trusty little ruler, and I'm going to add some tear and tape to these little panels here, and I'm going to add a couple of pieces to each tab just to make sure that they stay put and to give them just that little bit of extra strength when the box is stuck together, because the tape adds extra strength. So I'll do this as quickly as I can, just up to the score line but not on the score line, because you don't want your adhesive to be sticking out. Come back here. If you hear any munching in the background, I've got a guinea pig and a rabbit in the room beside me here, and little Miss Guinea Pig has decided to start eating some hay. I think she's quite enjoying the company, and she's at the bars watching what I'm doing. So this is a novelty for them as well, because I've not crafted in here before. So let's just give them a little press with my bone folder and pop the... Can't find my take your pick tool, so I'll just use my tweezers for quickness to take the backing off of the tape. There we are, and I'm just going to make sure that I don't have any adhesive hanging over the edges. There we are. And then I'm just going to line up this cut edge with this folded edge to put the box together, just like so. There we are. And if you end up with any little furry bits on the corners, just snip them off. There we are. I think that's it. So let's see if our candles fit in. There we go. nice fit, not too tight, but it gives us just a little bit of movement if needed. So I'm going to put them to the side just now, and I'm going to bring in my cut and emboss. Now I'm going to have to use my large one to cut the holes, cut the hole in the lid, because this is too big to fit through my mini. It would fit through, I don't have the lid, do I have the lid that I folded over? Yeah, I tried it this way, and I did use my mini cut and emboss, and I folded it in like that, and I actually got not bad finger notches on the side, but it's not really the sort of finger notch I wanted, so I decided not to go with that idea. So I will bring in my large cut and emboss machine, if I can fit it underneath the camera, and I'm just going to check that you can actually see that. There we are. And the plates are quite helpful because they tell you what plates to use. So for die cutting I need plate 1, I need plate 2, and I need my cutting plates, which are plate 3. So that one's got the most score marks on it, so I'm going to pop that down here. And the dies that I'm using to get that nice shape is the Hippo and Friends dies, and I'm actually going to use this one and this one. The bigger one is what's going, no, it is not the bigger one, it's the smaller one that's going to make the hole in the lid. That was nearly a faux pas. Let me move this out of the way. This die cutting machine really does take up a lot of space. So what I want to do is I'm going to pull this towards me just for a second. I know I'm off camera, but I can't negotiate my way around the embossing machine. So I was just making sure that I got that in the middle, and I've put a little bit of adhesive post-it tape on there, and I'm just going to put the other cutting plate on top whilst reaching round the tripod. Now I'm just going to do this very slowly because I don't want to shake you too much, and that should have cut the hole in the top of the lid. Just carefully peel the post-it tape off. There we are. So that's exactly what I wanted in terms of the hole there. So I can actually get rid of my large cut and emboss machine and bring in my little mini to do the cutting on the little gold bit. So bear with me while I pop this back out of the way, and I'll bring in my little mini. I love this, it's fabulous. I only used it for the first time a couple of weeks ago because I've not done much crafting since I got it, I'm ashamed to say, but I absolutely love it. So pop it to the side just for a minute, and what I want to do is cut a bit of gold foil like this. This is my backup just in case, so I've got one I prepared earlier, but I wanted to, this was made using our gold foil, but I wanted to try the brushed gold foil this time round just to see, and I think I've only just left enough room for this die to fit on it. So wish me luck. I'm hoping, let me just have a look, if I turn it round, actually no, I don't have enough room for that, so I'm going to have to use, actually it should do, because I'm looking at, yeah, I don't really want the outside bits, it's the inside bit that I want. Yeah, that will fit. that will just fit. Let me see if it's any better that way around. Right, that should fit like that. So let's give it a go. If it doesn't work, I've got one that I've already prepared. So let's just hold that down there for a minute, and then the smaller die I'm going to sit inside, and that's how that makes that gold part. So I'm just checking that it's evenly spaced all the way around before I tape it down to hold it securely, and I think that looks okay. We'll soon find out. So let's carefully lift that up, move everything else out of the way, bring little Minnie in, and again we want just plate 1, cutting plate 2, pop. Wants to stick to everything now, of course. Pop that in, pop another cutting plate on top, and hopefully without much sugar, away we go. And I'm just taking my time because I don't really want to move my grid paper, and I don't want to shake the tripod too much either. So hopefully that's cut out and it's even all the way around. We'll soon know. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's absolutely grand. So I'm just going to put these over to the side. Keep that as well for something else, just like the little black bit that you cut out earlier from the lid. Keep that for something else as well. And oh, please excuse me, do excuse me, I'll pop those back in there for the time being. And that's that bit cut out for the lid. So I'm going to put my plates down on the floor. So let's put the lid together. Here we are here. So again, I'm just going to reinforce these folds again. And I'm going to cut and do the corners the same as the base. So to save you watching that, I'll pause the video and I'll come back to you once I've cut those and put the tape on. So I'll be back soon. Okay, so that's that done, all the tape on the corners. I'm not going to put the box together just now though, because I want to put my window sheet in and I want to put my gold bit round here. So I'm going to do that first, and I do quite like it in the matted gold. It's not quite central, but you get the idea. I'm just going to grab my liquid glue. If I'd thought sooner, I could have used an adhesive sheet, but I didn't. So just a little bit of glue round here. It doesn't need a lot at all. There we go. Just make sure I spread that out a little bit because I don't want it to scoot out. And I'm just going to line that up round the edge of the aperture here. So there we are. Just give it a little press, turn it over and give it a harder press on the back. And while we sort the window sheet, that has time to dry. So there we are. That's our lid with its gold bit on. So I've also, while I was off camera, put tape round the outside of the window sheet. This is about 3 inches square. It really just needs to be big enough to cover that hole but not have any of the tape visible as well. And I'm going to make sure that I stamp on the correct side of the acetate. So normally you would think that you would stamp on this side because the tape would stick it down, but actually when it comes to the lid, the tape is going to stick the window sheet upwards, if you like, to that window, so I want to stamp on the same side as my tape. A few little scuffs on the window, but I'm not too worried about that. So I have my Versamark here, and the stamp set I'm using is Penguin Place, and I'm just using that tiny Season's Greetings here because I felt it was a good size for what I needed. So I'm just going to take that out, lie it down to let it relax a little bit before I put it on the block. It's not a particularly long stamp, so it doesn't really matter too much. I think I need to clean these blocks too. So stamping on acetate is no mean feat either. It's to be done very carefully. So I am going to pull this down a little bit towards me because I'm sitting, but I'll make sure that obviously you can still see that without me putting my head under the camera. So I'm not going to use my embossing buddy because it clouds the acetate, so I'm just going to stamp very carefully. Now when I do stamp, it's just going to be a quick stamp and back up again, because if I press it will slide around because Versamark is quite slippy. So I need to make sure that I've got plenty on, and I've just re-inked it, so I'm thinking that might go a little bit funny. So I'm going to line it up on my grid paper and just try and put that just slightly above the central point. I'm going to put it here because I can see that easier. So I would say that is central, so I'm going to put it just slightly up and wish me luck. Down and up. Not quite central, but I'm not too worried because I'll move my window sheet about. So I'll pop that over on my Stampin' scrub, get my Versamark out of the way, bring in a sheet of copy paper and pour my gold embossing powder over the top of my Season's Greetings, and it doesn't use a lot either. So I'm just going to tap that, get all these extra bits off that I don't want, and I've forgotten to bring my little brush with me, so we're probably going to have some extra bits, but we'll just live with that for now. Get rid of this back into the tub. That'll do. And then if you want to turn the sound down, I would, if your ears are a little bit sensitive, because I'm going to put my heat gun on. So I'm just going to switch it on to heat it up because I want it hot, so that all I do is melt that and take it away again, because this will warp a little bit and I don't want it to warp too much. So pop your sound down just now. There we are, and that's hot enough. So I'm only melting that and then stopping again. So there we go. That's the embossing powder melted, and I've not warped my lid too much. And actually, I can actually use the putty on this, I think, to just take a couple bits off. There we are. I don't want to mark it though. So it hasn't warped too much, but what I'm going to do is pop it underneath. Here we are. I've got a punch. I'll pop that underneath to keep it flat while we put the lid together. So take the backing off. Oops. I'm going to put my lid together. Ideally I would put my window sheet in before I put it together, but I want it just to cool a little bit and keep flat underneath that punch. But it's easy enough to put on even when the box is together. So I'm just going to give these a couple of extra presses. And I'm going to bring my window sheet back in. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to take off one bit completely, but the rest I'm going to take off partially, fold over like that. When you're using a pocket tool to take backing tape off of a window sheet, don't go from that side because you probably will scratch it. Always go from the outside edges. And what I want to do is I want to centre that in the box and get it where I want it. And I'm probably happy with that about there maybe. So I'm just going to turn it round. Oh, and I've moved it. There we are. Going to pop it about, let's try and centre that, probably about there, and I'll show you why I'm putting it slightly higher. Yep, I'm happy with that. So I can now just take the rest of the backing tape out and press the window sheet down. It would have been easier to do this while it was still flat, but hey, it's done now. There we are. Slightly warped, but it's okay because it's not going to affect it too much. So there's where my season's greetings is. So the moment of truth, putting the lid onto the box, there we are. And all that's left, do you know what we didn't do? My little 1-inch punch didn't do the finger notches at the side. That's the thing I always forget every single time. Open it up again. This is a retired 1/2-inch punch. I think I just called it a 1-inch punch, but it's 1/2-inch punch. But they're readily available. You probably have something similar anyway. There we are. So pop the lid back on. Now that we've done our finger notches, oops, there we are. And that's just a nice little finger notch to open it at the side. And the bow is why I wanted it slightly higher than this one here, because the bow takes up part of the window. And this is our gold shimmer ribbon. And I'm just going to do a bunny ears bow, which I find easier to do. And then we're going to pop it onto the bottom of that window using a glue dot, and it's as easy as that. So let's just get that to the size that we want. Don't want a huge bow, but I want it to be a feature on the box obviously, but I don't want it to be huge. So that's probably about right. Maybe just pull that in a little bit. There we are. Yep. So a quick snip of the ribbon here and here, and I can always adjust it again if I need to. I'm going to trim that just a little bit more, I think. There we are. I'm just going to grab a mini glue dot. I'm just going to pull these ears down a little bit more. There we go. That's better. That's a better size. So my mini glue dots, I did have them and they're hiding. Here we go. So just pop a glue dot on the back of the knot and pop it in the middle here. And again, I think I'll just trim that ribbon ever so slightly. so that it's not covering up too much of that pretty design. And there we have it. So that's my black and gold box with my black and gold candles. I'd hoped to be a little bit quicker in doing that, but never mind. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you do go on and make one and let me know what you think. As I say, don't forget to hop round all the other people in this video hop, and do like and leave a comment as you go around if you can. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.